Whatever the situation, the good times and the bad times, Japan has always been there as trusted friend of Bangladesh. The country has played a significant role in development of almost every sector of Bangladesh. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Ahmed Reza, is welcoming all of you in our very special show, Japan, the Development Partner. Today, my guest is the Honorable Ambassador of Japan to Bangladesh, His Excellency Mr. Ito Naoki. Your Excellency, how are you? How is going everything? And as you know, the pandemic is ongoing.
So thank you very much for having me on the show, Ahmed.
Your Excellency, we have many things to ask to you. Probably I think you will answer all the questions as you know that.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, thank you very much, Your Excellency. My first question is to you that you know that as Japan is cooperating in last 5 decades in our development sector, especially in infrastructure level. So regarding this perspective or aspect where Bangladesh and Japan and relationship stands right now, what do you think?
I think Bangladesh and Japan have been enjoying excellent relationship of friendship and cooperation. And I would like to congratulate Bangladesh to celebrate its 50 years of independence, as well as its achievement over the last 50 years. So we are so pleased and also proud of being one of the best development partners for Bangladesh throughout the history of the Bangladesh. So I think right now relationship is really excellent, but I must point out at the very beginning, it was the father of the nation who actually steered the course of cooperation between the two countries. Bangabandhu visited Japan in October 1973. That was truly an epoch-making visit that really opened up various cooperations and collaboration, particularly for the development of Bangladesh. But even before the visit, back in October 1972, Bangabandhu talked to the Japanese ambassador, and he said the cooperation by Japan on Big Bridge is a real symbol of friendship between the two countries. So he was talking about Jamuna Bridge. Yeah. So he was really showing his insightful leadership, also far-fetched perspective, also the confidence and trust he had already have on Japan being one of the best development partners with Bangladesh.
Definitely it is. As you talked about the root of our friendship. So, Your Excellency, would you kindly mention it as a term, any term of our friendship?
I think this is really time-tested friendship, and we are forging win-win relationship as Bangladesh is recording its economic growth, and also Bangladesh is enhancing its stature in the region as well as on the global scene. I think we'll be able to build win-win relationship in a genuine sense. So I think that's my role, to try my best to make this friendship and partnership as genuinely win-win partnership and continuously to elevate partnership to a higher dimension, higher stage.
Surely it is. As you know, the bilateral relationship is very structured between two countries. So, and probably in next February, we are going to celebrate our 50 years of bilateral issues, bilateral relationship also. So, regarding this center or regarding this perspective, would you kindly mention what is the priority issues between two countries?
I think there are some issues we need to focus on. First one is economic business partnership. Our business partnership is growing definitely. Now we have more than 300 Japanese companies being operational in this country, and our trade flows are increasing. Number of Japanese companies tripled in 10 years. Also, flow of investment is increasing, particularly over the last decade. We witnessed the real expansion of trade and investment relationship. But I think key issue is Bangladesh needs to become more friendly, easier place to do business. I think that's one of the issues we need to cooperate. And next issue is people-to-people exchange between the two countries. Yes, we have a natural sense of affinity between Bangladesh people and Japanese people. I would say this is advantage for both of us to forge a good relationship. But we need to have a more larger flows of people between the two countries. Yes, we have more than 3,000 students, Bangladesh students in Japan, but we want to have more. We want to have more people working in Japan, studying in Japan, even visiting Japan as a tourist once Corona situation subsides. So better mutual understanding, particularly among younger generations. So that will be the very key to forge a relationship towards the future. So this is the issue number 2.
You are focusing.
Yeah, and third issue is how we are going to say bring about stability, peace, and prosperity in the region. So we are saying that it's very important to forge free and open Indo-Pacific, so which includes the Bay of Bengal region and Bangladesh. So I would say Bangladesh is a partner to establish this common vision of peace, stability, and prosperity in the region. How we can do practical cooperation to that end to realize this free and open Indo-Pacific. I think these are the 3 issues I would like to focus to promote our partnership, our cooperation, collaboration between the two countries.
That's great that you were focusing on different type of sector in Bangladesh and Japan relationship. So you know the corona situation is ongoing in all over the world. Bangladesh and Japan both are chasing or passing a very tough time right now. So in spite of all, how the bilateral relationship will going on?
This is a global crisis. Corona posed a global challenge. So even our cooperation, our friendship is being tested because of corona virus pandemic. But I would say over the last 1 year or so, during this pandemic period, our cooperation, our collaboration made progress. Japan plans to provide 3 million doses altogether. And up to yesterday, we received 1.6 million doses of AstraZeneca. And to my contentment, the Bangladesh government restarted vaccinating your people for the second dose of AstraZeneca with this gift from Japanese people. And last year, Japan provided, for the first time, budget support to Bangladesh, $330 million US dollars. We also provided the medical equipment, the PPE, masks, and so forth. So in order to meet the demands of Bangladesh to cope with a corona situation, so we kind of step up our efforts of cooperation with Bangladesh. Japan will continue to stand by Bangladesh in its fight against the corona pandemic, because under this situation, we are all in the same fight. So we really need to continue to join hands. Also, I talked a bit about economic partnership, but Bangladesh government was really keen to provide better investment climate, particularly during the corona pandemic period, also looking at the situation after corona pandemic. So over the last 12 months, the government offices, with the very strong leadership of Honorable Prime Minister, made some, regulatory reform, deregulatory measures, so which would allow foreign investor to do a business in Bangladesh with some ease. So I think that is something Bangladesh government needs to be given credit. So in spite of the difficulties, they made great efforts to provide better investment climate here. So hopefully once the situation improves, we are going to have an even stronger, even more comprehensive partnership of business and economy with Bangladesh.
Sure, it is, Your Excellency. Thanks for your kind cooperation. And I have a last question before going to break. So, that do you believe that next leadership or next diplomacy is depend on vaccination activities?
No, I don't really think that will be the priority.
Okay.
But under the circumstances, it's very important to promote and advance cooperation in this area, because every country is at a critical moment. So Bangladesh, Japan, both are at a very critical juncture in the fight against the corona pandemic. So it is natural that we should provide our helping hands to the people of Bangladesh. So in light of this, we decided to provide vaccine to Bangladesh. But we are providing a vaccine to not only to Bangladesh, but also around 20 countries in the region. So clearly at the moment, I think providing vaccine, ensuring a fair, equitable, comprehensive access to vaccination is a top priority to any government. So that's why Japan provided this assistance. But beyond this, I'm sure that we really need to expand the, I think, areas of cooperation and collaboration towards the future, because it's really important to keep the economy going. Particularly Bangladesh needs to move forward to achieve your dreams, Vision 2041, and you are going to graduate from LDC status in 2026. So Japan is committed itself to continue to provide cooperation for Bangladesh to meet the requirement to fulfill their dream in the very near future.
That's very impressive, but just let people know about one information that after coming here in Bangladesh, you didn't get any opportunity to visit Bangladesh in all over the country. Is it?
I think that's a very unfortunate part. I came here in October 2019, so only after less than 6 months, corona pandemic started. So that is why I have had limited opportunities and experiences to visit areas outside Dhaka. Although I have been to places like Chittagong, Cox's Bazar, Tangail, Borishal, those places. But I have yet to visit Sundarban, Sylhet, those very, very touristy places, I would say. So I do really look forward to visiting those places once the situation improves.
Definitely. Yes. Believe that we will overcome the situation and you will get the chance to visit all over the country.
Yes.
Just we will have a short break. Dear audience, we will have a short break. Just be with us. Dear audience, welcome to the show, the Japan, the development partner. Your Excellency, as we discussed about many things, and now we need to know, or we are very eager to know about our economy. As we talked about it before though, just would you kindly mention, how do you evaluate the development of Bangladesh economy after 50 years regarding this aspect? What especially Japan did and what they can in future?
Living in Dhaka, you feel this dynamism of economic growth. So I would say Dhaka is the most vibrant capital in the world. And without question, Bangladesh will have the fastest growth of the economy this decade. So we are so pleased that Japan can continue to cooperate with Bangladesh. I talked about this initiative of Jamuna bridge construction, but we also constructed the Meghna bridge. And earlier, even this Shonarugan Hotel is a Japanese project. So we have done many big projects, infrastructure projects, but we also did the Rural Development Corporation, Agricultural Areas Corporation, and also Human Resources Development. So those are very important areas. And now we are working on 3 flagship projects, I would say. One is Dhaka Metro and International Airport Extension, and also Matabali Deep Sea Port Development. So those are very impactful infrastructure development, I would say. And I think those infrastructure projects will change the landscape of infrastructure here. Also, that will be the symbol of the changing faces of the nation in the future. So these flagship projects will be game changer for the economy of Bangladesh. So we are so pleased with the way this cooperation is making progress. And take the example of this Matabari Moheshkari development. This is part of Big B, Bay of Bengal Industrial Growth Belt Initiative, which was launched by 2 prime ministers back in 2014. So 7 years back, 2 leaders exchanged their visits, Tokyo and Dhaka. Then they came up with this idea. The basic idea is to build industrial corridor between Dhaka, Chittagong, and Cox's Bazar. And that will be the engine of the development. And particularly Matabari, with the construction of this deep sea port, Matabari will become the transportation hub, energy hub, and industry hub. And through Matabari, there will be an enhanced connectivity inside the country and also with the neighboring countries. So I think this is a very important cooperation between the 2 countries for the future of the country. So Japan will do its best to make Matabari development project a very successful one.
Definitely it is, and as we do believe it also. As you know, our foreign policy, friendship to all and malice to none. And we are maintaining a balanced relationship to our 2 important neighbors like India and China. You know it very well. And here in subcontinent, there are many regional and sub-regional alliances are happening right now. Like if I want to talk about Belt and Road Initiative, Quad. So regarding this perspective, what Japan stands on this? Though we know Japan is in favor of Quad.
I had the chance to attend these twin celebrations in March. Celebration of Bangabandhu's birth centenary, as well as the celebration of Bangladesh independence. Grand event. But what I was impressed by attending this most was the fact that during those 10 days of twin celebrations, Dhaka was the center of regional diplomacy. It was Bangladesh which took the initiative of regional cooperation. So 5 leaders of this region came to celebrate to Dhaka. So that clearly demonstrated that the stature of Bangladesh was enhanced. So with this rapid economic growth and also with this political stability under the current administration, Bangladesh is now doing a different diplomatic initiative. So I think Japan's role is to promote Bangladesh's renewed role in the region as well as on the global front, including climate change issue and very important impending issues. As for this framework of diplomacy, yes, Japan is part of Quad. So Japan is part of those 4 countries grouping: Japan, United States of America, Australia, and India. But this group is to promote the realization of the common vision of peace, stability, and prosperity that is free and open, Indo-Pacific. So the idea is to share values like democracy, maritime freedom, and so forth, and also to promote practical cooperation in the areas like infrastructure, connectivity, disaster prevention, management, terrorist cooperation, or even humanitarian assistance, or recently climate change, or cyber, or even these infectious diseases. An important thing is we would like to create this peace, stability, prosperity based on the international order, which is rule-based, which respects international law. And I'm sure that Bangladesh shares these values as well as the idea of rule-based international order. So our emphasis is that we would like to promote a practical cooperation with Bangladesh. Bangladesh as a partner to build this peaceful, prosperous region here in this part of the world. So Bangladesh is now growing economy. Bangladesh has a very, very good potentials of further economic development, which means that Bangladesh will be able to exert much stronger diplomatic power in the future. So I would really hope that Japan, partnering with Bangladesh, will be able to provide a more peaceful, more prosperous region in this part of the world. And for that, I think this idea of a vision of free and open Indo-Pacific will be a very, very important vision to be shared with between us.
As I have many more things to ask to you, so the next question is about people-to-people contact, though you have discussed about little. So what are the plans to increase people-to-people contact between two countries? As you know that we have many students too who are very eager to go to Japan for their higher studies, or there are many people who are wants to visit basically to Japan. So do you have any plan to increase the people-to-people contact?
Next year we are going to celebrate the 50 years of celebration of our diplomatic relations. So February 1972, we recognized Bangladesh. So definitely we are going to celebrate our 50 years in style. So we are going to plan various events of cultural performance or film showing or networking events among young people. Maybe we should also focus on pop culture or animation or food collaboration or even sweet making collaboration between Japanese sweet and Bengali sweet. I'm sure that these are the kind of things that the Bangladesh people will enjoy. I might add fashion show between Japan and Bangladesh, or even handicrafts collaboration between the two countries.
Yeah, that's great.
So although there is some constraint because of this pandemic situation, but we've got to celebrate our 50 years in style. Earlier today, I had a chance to attend one online event that is about study in Japan.
Yeah.
One of the Japanese universities, the University of Tokyo, set up an office in Bonani. The office represents various universities in Japan supported by Japanese government. So the purpose of the office is to increase the number of students from Bangladesh to Japan. So currently there are about 3,000 students studying in Japan from Bangladesh, but compared to neighboring countries, this number is still not very big. So there is a big room and potential for us to increase the number of students coming from Bangladesh to Japan. And I introduced one phrase during this online seminar, one phrase from the song which was made by Tasan Khan recently when we invited Tasan Khan for our Japan Fest event, or the first online event of Japan Fest in this country. And Tasan made a song titled Bonduta Potaka.
Bondhutter
Potaka.
Okay.
The flags of friendship. And in this song, he has one phrase. Key phrase is Bondutter Bondon Projomo Teke Projomme. So this friendship bond will come from one generation to another.
Generation.
So this is really an important spirit. We should continue to say promote.
Yeah.
Even when you talk about the number of students coming from Bangladesh to Japan, we have to think about this importance of succeeding this cooperation, this people-to-people exchange from one generation to another. So that is why my idea is to focus on young generation of Bangladesh next year to celebrate 50 years, but also that should provide good opportunity for young Bangladesh to understand more about Japan, Japanese culture. Also, mutual understanding among young people are very, very important. I'm really looking forward to having a year of celebration next year.
Yeah, we are excited, and many more things are coming to in future, and basically, especially for the young generation. Is it?
Indeed, yes.
Okay, so we are expecting and we are eagerly waiting for this. Thank you. And just we will have a break. Dear audience, we are going to have a short break, and just be with us. Dear audience, welcome once again to the show Japan, the Development Partner. And here with us, the Honorable Ambassador of Japan to Bangladesh, His Excellency Mr. Ito Naoki. Welcome once you again. We talked about very different issue. You are one of the biggest investment partner. So is there any challenge to improve the investment situation here in Bangladesh?
Japan will be the largest investor into Bangladesh.
Yeah.
So we have yet to be there. But Japanese companies are looking at Bangladesh as a new frontier of investment in Asia. So particularly after coronavirus situation, many companies are looking at bolstering supply chain. So because coronavirus situation show the vulnerability of supply chain, if you are dependent on a single country in a very excessive way, then there is some vulnerability. So there is a possibility that Japanese companies will look at new areas of manufacturing point. So Bangladesh will have a very, very advantageous situation after coronavirus situation. So now Japan is developing a special economic zone in Arai Hajao, just outside Dhaka, as Japan exclusive economic zone. And that will provide hopefully the best possible investment environment as a joint effort between Japanese companies, JICA, and even Bangladesh government side. And we have to make this attempt in Arai Hajao very, very successful. Arai Hajao economic zone will be ready for manufacturers' investment by the end of next year.
Yeah.
So I see some strong interest being shown by Japanese companies as well as some of the international companies to Arai Hajao. But important thing is we have to have a very, very good investment climate as well as good incentives for Arai Hajao, for those investors. And that is something I have been working with interlocutors here. And once Arai Hajao is successful, then Japanese company will develop another special economic zone in Mirshorai as part of Bongobondu Silpanagao economic zone. Then down the line, Matabari can be the area where another Japanese economic zone will be developed in light of the fact that now Japan is doing development of deep sea port in Matabari, and Matabari Moheshkari island development is very much the project Japan is looking for. But we really need to provide better investment climate, because now Bangladesh is competing with other countries,
Exactly,
neighboring
yes.
countries, particularly some of those countries in ASEAN, like Vietnam, Myanmar, Philippines, those countries. So that is why I'm really asking those interlocutors here to do deregulation, regulatory reform, less red tape, simplified procedures of investment. But still, there are a couple of issues the Japanese companies often talked about. So one is this customs clearance issue, port custom, airport custom. It takes time to clear the procedure. There are still some red tapes. So this is the area we need to see some improvement.
Yep.
And another area is how you settle the import transactions. So here in Bangladesh, still letter of credit issued by banks is the main methodology, primary methodology of settling import transactions. But this letter of credit process takes a rather long time. But other countries, mainly telegraphic transfer is used as a primary methodology. But there are heavy restrictions on the use of telegraphic transfer here in this country. And in Asia, entire Asia, there are only 2 countries where telegraphic transfer is not used as a primary methodology of import transaction. One is Bangladesh, and another is Pakistan.
Yeah.
So after 50 years, so those 2 countries are still placing similar restrictions on the use of telegraphic transfer. But those 2 issues, customs clearance, also telegraphic transfer for import transactions, those are very important issues. And for Japanese prospective investors, these are symbolic issues. That is why I do really hope that with the establishment of a Japanese economic zone in Arai Hazal, those pending issues will be resolved so that the prospective investors
Definitely
will enjoy the environment here.
Regarding this perspective, I want to know that will Japan continue the GSP facility after post-LDC?
We have this special facility extended to LDC countries. So up to 2026, Bangladesh will enjoy almost zero tariff treatment. In fact, 98% in terms of tariff lines are now tariff-free. But beyond 2026, we will extend these GSP facilities, but it is different from LDC. So that is why market access will be slightly limited. But we will provide a favorable market access equal to other developing countries, but not as favorable as the ones extended to LDC. So that is why beyond 2026, there will be a difference of market access. There should be a possibility of concluding bilateral new arrangement of trade and possibly investment. Probably best way to address the situation is to first study and then negotiate, conclude a free trade agreement, economic partnership agreement, very comprehensive one between Japan and Bangladesh. Not only to talk about trade terms, but investment, even say some other economic related institutions, customs clearance, or even intellectual property right. So those comprehensive agreement may be very important to forge future relationship between Japan and Bangladesh.
Definitely. Your Excellency, you know that except Corona crisis, we have another crisis in Bangladesh, that is Rohingya crisis. So do you believe that it's need to resolve right now and it's need to resolve as well?
Bangladesh has been doing really difficult role to provide shelters and protect Rohingya refugees, almost 1 million people inside the country. I must commend what the Bangladesh government has been doing, particularly since the influx of large number of refugees, displaced persons from the other side of the border 4 years ago. So this must have been very, very difficult. But Bangladesh has shown very important policy generosity out of humanitarian perspective. So international community has responded to this policy by Bangladesh, and international community, including Japan, needs to continue to provide humanitarian assistance as well as cooperation to Bangladesh. Primary issue is repatriation. So repatriation is very important.
Yeah.
Without which there is no lasting solutions to this Rohingya crisis. But under the circumstances, particularly after February the 1st coup in Myanmar, it's very difficult to have good prospect of early start of the process of repatriation. Yeah. So now important thing is to continue to cooperate with Bangladesh government and provide humanitarian assistance to Rohingya refugees inside the Cox's Bazar camp areas, as well as, of course, host communities which are accepting the people. And also now government is working on relocation of people from Cox's Bazar to Bashar Char. So I say that integrated, comprehensive approach is very important. We should do both Cox's Bazar as well as Bashar Char. So Japan expects early start of operational engagement by UN on the island of Bashar Char. So after this monsoon period, hopefully the international community will behind the effort of government on Bashar Char. But I talked about this free, open Indo-Pacific. And I said that humanitarian assistance is part of the practical cooperation Japan would like to advance with Bangladesh. But humanitarian assistance to Rohingya is so important because that will ensure the stability of the region, stability of Cox's Bazar camp region. That is very important for the future stability of the entire region. So Japan will continue to provide cooperation and assistance in light of the importance of this issue in the region.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your valuable words regarding Rohingya perspective. So we are very close to finish our program, but before that, I just have heard that you know Bangla. Is it?
No, I don't. The ektu Bangla Basha bolte pari.
But as I know that you can sing a song for us, for our audience.
You know, my embassy did the online event of Japan Fest 2021 with Tasan Khan. And Tasan made a new song, Bonduta Potaka. But towards the very end of the program, I dared to ask Tasan to sing together.
But right now we would like to hear from you.
Oh, but you know, I just sang together with Tasan, so I never done this solo. But the song Tasan chose was one of the Rabindra Sangeet.
Yeah.
Anand Loke, Mongola Loke. But I was really amazed that after 100 years, still people are singing songs made by Rabindra Tagore. And the Tagore songs are very much relevant and prevalent in people's lives here in Bangladesh. So, but I'm just a pathetic karaoke singer. So, but just briefly, if I may.
Please.
Anando loke Mongola loke Bilateral Shotto shundoro Mohima atobo ubdu bashito Moha gogo no maje Mohima tobo ubdu bashito Moha gogo no maje Bisho jogoto moni busho no Beshti to chorone 아논도로케 몽골아 로케 비라조 쇼토 슌도로.
Chotto Sundaro. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me on this show. Thank
Do
you
you have
so
any
much.
words for Bangladeshi people?
You know, being a Japanese ambassador, I really enjoy my life here in Bangladesh. And
In
I should
Bangla.
say, no.
ভালো থাকবেন।
আমি আশা করি জাপান ও বাংলাদেশ সম্পর্কে আলো উন্নত হবে।
Thank you, Your Excellency, for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you for staying with us.